Hi everybody, my name is Dennis and I'm one of the co-founders of Skylight. So soon we'll be celebrating 5 years of Skylight, and that's time for me to look back a bit at how it started for me. It actually started for me almost 6 years ago, more precisely on July 19th, 2016, when I received an email from a friend of mine. That friend was Manfred, and he was asking me whether I had time for a chat about a potential enterprise. And that's how I got involved into Skylight. We had some quite significant ups and downs even before we started the company. In October 2016, we were 5 guys ready to found a company under the name Cytomatics. We even had that logo. But things went on really slow because everyone was still focused on their own jobs and no one really had time for this new thing. So sometimes it even took 2 weeks to get a reply for a simple email. And in January, suddenly 2 of our prospective founders left the not yet existing company before we even founded it. So at that time, it felt like a really bad idea to stay, simply because these were the 2 guys that had the biggest experience in developing a software similar to what we wanted to make our first product. Well, still here, so apparently we continued. And 2 months later, we had assembled a new founders team. And we gave up the old company name, came up with the name Skylight, and 3 months later founded the company. So my takeaway from this very early episode is that we needed to reinvent ourselves even before we started anything. And it's this flexibility that's a key strength of a startup. Accept these setbacks and rise up from it again. So over the years, of course, we did experience a couple of other setbacks. From my perspective, the most significant low point was reached in the end of summer 2019. At that time, our software that we had been developing for about 2 years was ready to be launched to the market, but unfortunately, we found out that these markets were way smaller than we were anticipating them. So eventually, we made the decision to actually give up the software completely. And it was around the same time when we received pretty devastating results from our first biomarker project. That project was an inner-Swiss funded project that we led in cooperation with University of Zurich. And it was sort of our lighthouse project back then. It was pretty much the only project that would have yielded any results anytime soon. So with it failing, that would have meant that our whole technology would have been at stake, because we wouldn't have had any proof that our technology actually works on real data. So thankfully, these devastating results turned into pretty excellent results once we fixed a small file processing error along the way, and then everything worked out nicely. And we took the chance to reinvent the company, to become a more biomarker-centric company and forget about the software company that we were before. There were, of course, a couple of more setbacks along the path, and we needed to adjust the direction of the company every time. It almost feels like we're adjusting the path every year, more or less drastically. But I think this flexibility to adjust the pathway is a key strength of Skylight. It's one of the 4 reasons why we're still there. The other 3 reasons are, of course, first, the technology that I believe in more and more. Like, the more projects we have, the more successes we have, the more I believe in the technology. Second, the team, and including advisors, and also including those of the team that joined the company at some point and left later, but they contributed to the whole picture, I think. And then, of course, last not least, investors and other supporters, which allowed us to grow and follow our visions. So 5 years of Skylight seemed next to impossible 5 years ago. And I would like to thank everyone who made this possible. So thank you, and I hope to see you at our mini symposium on June 14th. See you there.